Why does Judaism discriminate against Jewish boys? In our tradition, parents bless their children with a special blessing. In some communities, it is even said every Friday night before the Shabbat meal. For girls, the blessing says, "May you be like Sarah, Rivkah, Rachel, and Leah." And this makes perfect sense. These are the mothers of our nation, righteous, strong women with rich stories we want our daughters to learn from. But for boys, the blessing is very different. We bless them to be like Ephraim and Menashe, not Abraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov. Why? If we want our girls to look up to the mothers of our nation, why don't we want our boys to be like our forefathers? And honestly, what's so special about Ephraim and Menashe anyway? The Torah barely tells us anything about them. But the Torah does tell us something very important about them. Their names. Their father, Yosef, had a very difficult life. He lost his mother as a child. His older brothers were essentially bullying him. They planned to kill him afterwards, and then sold him as a slave instead. He ends up in Egypt, where he, while being a slave, is falsely accused and then thrown into a prison. Eventually, yes, he rises to become the second most powerful man in Egypt. He builds a family, and from outside, his life finally looks perfect. But do you think that he was able to just forget his past? Trauma doesn't disappear just because life improves. So when his first son is born, he names him Menashe, saying, "God help me forget, let go my pain." When his second son is born, he names him Ephraim, saying, "God help me grow and move forward in this foreign land." And this is the key. Menashe comes before Ephraim. First healing, then growth. The Torah is teaching us something very honest about life. You cannot truly move forward if you never deal with what hurts you inside. And interestingly, Ephraim, the second son, becomes greater than Menashe, but he can only exist because Menashe was first. And this is a message which is especially important for our boys. Generally speaking, men and women cope with pain differently. Men often deal with tragedy by pushing it aside and just acting. Women are more likely to process this pain. That's why after tragedy, men usually seem to fare better short term, but women often do better in the long term. You need to move forward, but if you never processed your pain, this pain doesn't disappear, it just hides. That's why men may be better at fighting wars. When a danger hits, you can't sit and analyze your emotions, you have to act. But life is not only war, life is also healing. So when we bless our boys to be like Ephraim and Menashe, we are telling them, unfortunately, in this life, you will end up facing pain. You will face upheaval. You must move forward, but don't skip the healing. First Menashe, then Ephraim. And that might be one of the most important messages that our boys need to hear.